Solution-based casework this is really, at the core of what we're trying to do in terms of a practice approach that's driving our systems redesign. And while it is very much family focused, because this has been developed for the child protection business, if you like, it does remain very focused on children and their safety. Probably the challenge that it throws out to all of us is, in fact, a criticism that is thrown at Families SA, which on occasions I think is fair. We remove children because they're unsafe. We set a series of things that we need parents to do to secure safety, and they achieve that. And then we move the goalposts and say, but this is not an optimal care environment. So we're going to keep the children a little bit more, and there's more that you need to do. And then there's more that you need to do. And then the child's been out of the parent's care for so long and they're attached to the carer, then perhaps we better keep them till they're 18. And what solution-based casework is challenging us to think about is, how do we, once the safety concerns have been dealt with, get the children back in their parents' care as quickly as possible, and how do we continue to work with that family to respond to the wellbeing concerns that we have. That's a different way for us to work. It has implications for partner organisations, particularly partner organisations that we fund to work in the alternative care and in the care and protection area. And we will be having conversations with funded organisations during 2014 about us providing solution-based casework training to staff in your organisations. There will be, I think, positions that we will identify that are funded through particularly the Stronger Families, Safer Children stream, where we would be wanting and putting into service agreements that key staff in fact are certified solution-based casework practitioners. There'll be other staff that would be saying, we would be wanting them to have the basic training and have an understanding of how this is working. And more broadly in those Stronger Families, Safer Children programs, we will make solution-based casework training available if the organisation wants to do it. Any organisation who is interested in adopting solution-based casework more broadly in their organisation, once we've got a bit of sort of headspace and we would be happy to talk about, probably on a fee-for-service basis, providing solution-based casework training across organisations. But in terms of those where we prescribe that or offer that as part of the service agreement, we would be funding that. Likewise for public sector organisations that work really closely with us, we will be offering solution-based casework training, and we're open to discussions about if you think that there are people in your organisation that there's a case for them being certified, then we'll talk about that and the process that might be gone through to achieve that. What is critically important is that we've got a consistent approach that we're applying to families who are being drawn into the statutory child protection system, and that they're not getting mixed messages and radically different approaches in terms of dealing with the fundamental safety issues that we need to deal with in order to keep children safe, and if that safety is achieved, that they're kept out of the alternative care, the out-of-home care system. We've got some proposed timelines, and this information will be loaded onto our website in the next sort of 24, 48 hours, so the timeline will be there for you to all see. But we're really looking at, by mid-2014, Dana Christensen, who's the developer of solution-based casework, being back here in Adelaide and doing some quite intensive work with community sector partners who we've signed up to this process. And obviously, you know, this really will then continue through into the end of 2014 with certification for those people who are in positions that we've identified where certification's appropriate. What we've got to do and what we're committed to doing is building and maintaining the training and development capacity within the organisation that we can keep our solution-based casework as an approach operating. Once we've, if you like, got through the frenetic stage of getting a critical mass of people inducted into and utilising solution-based casework, the opportunities for us to have joint training in solution-based casework start to open up in a very significant way. And I think there's nothing like joint training from people across sectors and across disciplines to develop a really stronger understanding of one another and a stronger working relationship. And that's certainly where we want to drive this to. But right now for us, it's critically important that we get a significant mass of our workforce on the path to being able to competently and confidently use solution-based casework. This information will go up on the website, and as before, senior Families SA staff will be available probably in the new year at this stage, I'd think, for most people, but will be available to come and give more detailed presentations about what I've talked about today and about sort of further developments in this space.